As a stranger, give it welcome. There are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than are dreamt of in your philosophy. But come, here as before, never, so help you mercy, how strange or odd some'er I bear myself, as I, perchance hereafter, shall think meet to put an antic disposition on, that you, at such times seeing me, never shall with arms encumbered thus, or this head shake, or by pronouncing of some doubtful phrase as, well, well, we know, or we could, and if we would, or such ambiguous giving out, to note that you know aught of me. This do swear, so grace and mercy at your most need help you.
This monologue marks the acquisition of Hamlet's insanity. While he consciously makes the decision to act insane, Hamlet fails to recognize that his selfish actions greatly contribute to the demise of his friends and family. By examining Hamlet's transformation to insanity throughout the play, readers can identify how his character leads to the degeneration of himself and other characters.
How now, Ophelia? What's the matter?
Oh, my lord, I've been so frightened.
With what, in the name of God?
My lord, as I was sewing in my closet, Lord Hamlet, with his doublet, all unbraced, no hat upon his head, his stockings fouled, ungartered, and down gibed to his ankle, pale as his shirt, his knees knocking each other, and the look so piteous in purport, as if he'd been loosed out of hell, to speak of horrors, he comes before me.
Mad for thy love?
My lord, I do not know, but truly I do fear it.
What said he?
He took me by my wrist, and held me hard, and he goes to the length of all his arm, and with his other hand thus o'er his brow, he falls such perusal of my face as he would draw it. Long stayed he so. At last, a little shaking of mine arm, and thrice his head thus waving up and down, he raised a sigh so piteous and profound, as it did seem to shatter all his bulk and his being. That done, he lets me go, and with his head over his shoulder turned, he seemed to find his way without his eyes.
How's everything going for you today, Hamlet?
I'm fine.
How are you coping with the death of your father? I know it's been hard on you.
I've just been dealing with it. It's the circle of life and everyone dies at some point.
I'm glad that you've been able to handle it, but people who are concerned about you have been worried by some of your actions lately.
I'm just faking it so that when I kill my uncle, people will just think I'm crazy. Just because I went nuts on Ophelia doesn't mean I'm crazy. It's just an action.
Well, Hamlet, the theory of cognitive dissonance is widely recognized within the discipline of psychology. And basically, this means that when your mind and actions hold different beliefs, the tension you experience is too much to handle. So your mind eventually matches your actions. I just think you should be careful and not let this insanity become real and affect those around you.
No, it's not going to affect anyone but myself. I won't let it get to that point.
All right, whatever you say. So I'll see you next week.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks.
Just gotta shoot someone. Wow, this game is violent.
Yeah, it's just like that scene in Hamlet where Hamlet kills Polonius.
Why do you think Shakespeare puts that scene in there?
I don't know. Do you guys remember in Foster how he mentions that writers kill off characters in order to cause plot complications and put characters under stress?
Yeah, I think Shakespeare has Hamlet kill Polonius because it's the defining moment of Hamlet's insanity in the play, where Hamlet's acting finally becomes a reality.
Yeah. And another plot complication
Oh
that
no!
this creates.
Kill me! Sorry.
Another plot complication that this creates is destroying Hamlet's reputation within the community. Because before, Claudius couldn't do anything to Hamlet, since he would be judged by the citizens. And now, Claudius has an excuse to get rid of Hamlet and send him to England.
I think this is also the beginning of Ophelia's insanity. This ties back to how a person's actions can have a strong effect on the people around them. The act of Hamlet killing Polonius is what ultimately pushed Ophelia over the edge and drove her towards insanity.
Exactly. To the unexperienced reader, Polonius' death seems like a total accident. But the more you think about it, the more you realize Shakespeare had a purpose in including this.
Yeah, he includes this because he wanted to show the reader how developed Hamlet's insanity has become.
Yeah, I feel like up until this point, the reader is inclined to side with Hamlet out of sympathy because Hamlet's actions are justified by the revenge code. But after Hamlet irrationally murders Polonius, The reader's exposed to Hamlet's distorted perception of right and wrong.
Yeah, Hamlet's kind of gone psycho.
Oh, I won!
No!
Come and sit you down. You shall not budge. You go not till I set up a glass where you may see the inmost part of you.
What wilt thou do? Thou wilt not murder me? Help! Ho!
What? Ho! Help!
How now, a rat? Dead for ducat! Dead!
Oh, I am slain.
Oh me, what hast thou done?
Nay, I know not. Is it the king?
Oh, what a rash bloody deed is this!
A bloody deed, almost as bad, good mother, as kill a king and marry his brother?
As kill a king?
Aye, lady, it was my word.
How are you feeling today?
Terrible. My dad just died, and Hamlet killed him. And Hamlet doesn't love me anymore.
Oh, well, here are some tissues. Are you still following your instructions to not talk to Hamlet?
No, I just want to die.
You feel like you're not doing so well? How's the death of your dad affecting your relationship with others?
I don't trust anyone anymore. I just want to reveal the truth about everyone.
Based off what you're telling me, Ophelia, I believe the effect of your dad's murder by someone you love is causing you great stress to the point of insanity, and the fact that you still love him is giving you guilt. While he's off playing hero, you're off on the sidelines suffering the consequences of his actions. Don't feel like it's your fault, it's Hamlet's fault. He's the one that's gone mad. He's the one that's killed Polonius and ruined your reputation. It's only understandable that you feel the way you do. As your therapist, I highly suggest to cut off Hamlet if you want to no longer be the victim. There's nothing more than matter.
There's rosemary. That's for remembrance. Pray you love remember. And pansies. That's for thought.
A documented madness, thoughts and remembrance fitted.
There's fennel for you. And columbine. And there's rue for you. Here's some for me. We may call it herb of grace. Oh, Sundays you must wear your rue with difference. There's a daisy. I would give you some violets, but they withered all when my father died. They say he made a good end.
An affliction, passion, hell itself. She turns to favor into prettiness. Well, deducted from your last few sessions, it seems that Hamlet is becoming more and more focused on his own agenda and less concerned with what's happening to those around him, especially you, Ophelia.
Yeah, I guess.
This is a common occurrence that is often seen in cases similar to yours. What people don't understand is that surrounding yourself with people who are insane or mentally unstable can ultimately drag you down with them. In your case, I can see that Hamlet's insanity is rubbing off on you. The situation Hamlet is putting you through has made you question your own insanity. So, by the end of the novel, it's a really ambiguous whether or not Hamlet's crazy. Because, you have to question whether or not his actions make him crazy or if he's just acting based on the whole revenge thing.
I agree with that, but I think that, at the point where he's having, that scene with Ophelia, that's the turning point where readers finally believe his insanity and that it's not just an act, that he's actually starting to believe it himself.
I mean, in the beginning of Hamlet acting crazy, he doesn't really realize the ramifications of his acting insane. He thinks his insanity is just gonna he doesn't think it's gonna affect anyone else, but then it ends up affecting Ophelia, and that she goes nuts and she starts singing randomly and she just goes crazy, kind of.
Yeah, but people might say that despite Hamlet's questionable insanity, it's irrelevant to the fate of others because it's debatable to say our individual feelings guide our actions.
No, it's the interactions we have with others that influence our own. So because Hamlet's crazy and acts insane, those around him bear the consequences.
Yeah, I mean, just look at Ophelia. Like, she goes through Hamlet making fun of her feelings for her. He breaks her heart, and then he kills her dad. And by the end of the story, she's such an emotional wreck that she ends up drowning. And you don't know whether or not she kills herself intentionally or if she just doesn't have the will to save herself. But I mean, either way, it's obvious how much of an effect Hamlet's actions had on her actions.
Yeah, and when you really think about it, that's how it works in society. Like, other people's actions have an influence on your own. Like, when you're with your friends, what they do affects you too, and that's exactly what Hamlet does throughout the play, is his actions are affecting every single person around him, his friends, his family, and his insanity is what ultimately causes everyone else to go insane because of their association with him.